He says these 15 brands are sending way too much. But how much is too much? And how do you get your arms around managing all that content? This is what's new that you need to know. Hello everybody, Robert Rose here with the news. It's what's new, but more importantly, it's what's new that you need to know in the world of content marketing strategy. And for the best and best practices, you can always head over to contentmarketinginstitute.com. Well, as we get into the final stretch of the year here, that holiday season, it is the time when B2B and B2C companies, you might feel like you're producing way too much email. In fact, you might feel like you produce too much email all year long. How much email are we actually sending? How much content are we actually producing? Well, a new study by BrandKey says that while there are many brands out there that consumers say send far too much email, they don't necessarily all take a hit to their brand as a result. Now, the study found that companies like Amazon, Macy's, Groupon, Gap, Home Depot, they sent way too many emails to consumers. And for 85% of that list, sending too many emails erodes consumer engagement. However, for Amazon and Groupon in particular, they found it seems to not be annoying people to the point where it erodes opinion about the company itself. What's their secret? I'll tell you, it's utility and value. In other words, even if you continue to provide value and utility, you can exceed the amount of what's considered too much content, and you just don't take the same kind of hit. That's simple. In other words, providing utility and value gives you a lot of runway to send too much. Now, what's our take here at CMI? Well, it's all about getting our arms around the content itself because we don't want to send too much, even if it doesn't erode our brand recognition. And that's the topic of our rose-colored glasses column this week. So many times, the reason that we're creating too much content is because we haven't made content a strategic function in the business. One that actually reports into a part of the business and is responsible for determining how much water goes over the proverbial dam. Now, one of the main reasons that businesses ask us about putting in a content strategy is because there is a fear that they're creating too much content. But then the first question becomes, okay, well, which function or department should the content team report into? My answer? Well, my answer is yes. Now, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here. Well, okay, maybe I am a little bit. Do you even know me? But seriously, my yes comes from years of helping implement content teams in dozens of businesses. And my response indicates that the most important thing isn't to whom the content team reports, but that it actually reports into someone, some part of the business. In other words, it's made real. When it reports into a function like brand or marketing or sales enablement or demand generation, PR, comms, or even, yes, really in one particular case, finance, the business is acknowledging that content marketing is a real thing with real responsibilities, powers, capabilities, and all of that to affect business outcomes. Now, what outcomes, you might ask? That depends. That depends on where content marketing reports into. You see, there's the real conundrum. You can't really figure out where content marketing and content strategy should report into without knowing the expected business outcomes, and you can't know the business outcomes until you know where you're reporting. It's tricky. And that's the real problem we're trying to solve for. So go check out my column this week where I talk a little bit about this and a real-world company that we actually did a little work with that understood that these three key attributes can help you make a decision on what kind of operations process is going to make the best sense for you. Basically, the end lesson, spoiler alert, deciding is way more important than the decision. Making a conscious choice as a business is the most important step in creating your content marketing strategy to manage the amount of content you're creating. Decisions are just accepting the consequences of a choice. And so, for any desired consequence you want, you better make sure you're deciding on all the things that'll help create it. That's it. That's 5 minutes of what's new in content marketing. It's what's new that you need to know. I'm Robert Rose, and remember, it's your story. Tell it well. I'll see you next week.